Yep. Post game, baby. We're gonna talk that real ball today, baby. I know everybody feeling like mud. You should. You love your team. You hate Philly. You just saw and felt the loss to some Hollywood stunners. So what we gonna do? We gonna sit back, or we gonna apply pressure, or we gonna make excuses? Cause we could, but I don't think we should. I think we should keep it real. That's what we gonna do today. Because today we got the post-game recap. We got the OC in the house. We got Coach Marv, and we still got him. So we gonna give y'all the business. Y'all sit back. We gonna be giving y'all the truth. Be right back. In the house, let's get it. I see y'all coming in the house. What's up, Jessica? I see you. What's going on? I see you got your church clothes on your. I see you. Yeah, I see you. I like y'all comments too. I like y'all comments. Yeah, I like y'all comments, man. Alright, here we go. My boy say, here come the excuses. Man, you better go sit down. Listen, man, I ain't even heard from you the whole game. Now you want to get your little Philly self up. After it's official, y'all won. You was scared. Go sit down, son. Got me messed up. Alright, here we go. Hey, but welcome to BossCowboySports. My boy said coaching grade at F. I can see that. I can definitely see that. Yeah, we lost that game on coaching, dog. Alright, here we go, man. Getting ready to kick off the show. Let's go. Alright, man. Let's go. Alright. Yes, indeed. Welcome to BossCowboySports, man. Let's recap this game. We got the OC in the building. So, first, OC, what's your thoughts, dog?
Man, listen, this is a good loss, I think. This is a good loss for the Cowboys at this time. And I think that, there's several things that we can take away from this game. A, the level of intensity that we need to have in big games, okay? The Cowboys just came out flat, man. We didn't have the intensity, man. We didn't have a dog in the fight. And I told all y'all at the beginning of the week, I told everybody that follows the final word in the show, I said, listen, Philadelphia Eagles has a good group up front. I said, if those guys can start to run the football effectively, that could be problems for the Cowboys. And that's exactly what they did. They did a fantastic job, and salute and hats off to the OC for the Philadelphia Eagles, man. He dialed up a great game, man. They worked the RPO to death. They froze Michael Parsons in space. He didn't know how to react to it. And nor did he get coached up, really, just to attack the quarterback on the RPO. They just started to drop down the safety close to the line of scrimmage on the wide side of the field in the third quarter to try to stop that action. But, man, they got a touchdown and a few huge first downs on it, man. So what can I say? In terms of the Cowboys' offensive front, we did a decent job, I think, running the ball. Ezekiel Elliott did a great job having tough guy football. And I think that overall, and I'm going to give credit where credit is due, that Kellen Moore, he did not call a bad game. He called some good stuff, man, but we had too many errant passes. Too many errant passes. And this game, if anything else to me, proves the ceiling of Cooper Rush. It proves why we need Dak Prescott. So all the talk about Cooper Rush being a full-time starter, all that stuff is going to stop now because we see the limits of what we can do with Cooper Rush. No offense to Cooper, but that we need our starting quarterback back in a hurry.
Yeah. One thing I also say and definitely agree with you on is I didn't see the physicality early that I expected to see. I didn't see it. I was actually shocked that our defense was a little flat early. That's number one. Number two, and then I'll turn this over to Amp and Coach Marv, is when I watch Philly, another thing that we saw with Philly is knowing who they are and doing and sticking to who they are. Okay? Because I said this on October 13th. I said film test for film people. I said, what does Philly do on third/fourth and short consistently? What does Dallas do on third/fourth and short consistently? So anybody that been watching saw them do the same thing, whether it was second and short, third and short, fourth and short, goal line. They did what? QB sneak. Why? It works. Why? Because they know who they are. What did we do? And why did I ask this question on Twitter? What did we do on third and short on our own 35? It was dumb to do it anyway. It was dumber to even throw it. So when you look at what we should learn from this, to me, we got to take a look at ourselves and say, who are we? And let's stick to who we really are. And let's stop being cute on pivotal downs. If we got to go for it or feel like we go take risk on pivotal downs. You have any thoughts on that, OC?
Yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that, the Cowboys get into situations to where they abandon the run at inopportune times, like 3rd and 2, going into the goal line, things like that, going spread unnecessarily. And I think that we mentioned this before, that Kellen Moore can make the mistake in certain scenarios of getting Cooper Rush confused with Dak Prescott, man. And At the end of the day, that hurts us, man. And he's not a guy that is go put the team on his back and do the same type of things that Dak Prescott can do. This is probably the first game I've seen him start in where I realized that this dude does not have a strong arm. He does not have a strong arm. A lot of those passes, man, he missed, man. He's floating balls and doing stuff like that. Now, the last interception, he got hit. He couldn't follow through, so I understand that. But what you line up and do is use your dogs and your big men. And when you started to double team those tackles inside, we had a lot of success running the football in the second half, and we should have fed Zeke even more. He did mix up. He did do some good things in terms of guard traps. I don't like the guard and the wide receiver trap where you have the wide receiver trying to kick out. I think that's dumb because he's not going to do nothing but run in there and not touch anybody, which is what Noah Brown pretty much did when we ran that play. But, hey, the counter trap, the guard trap, some of the toss action, things like that. The jet, he actually ran a jet the first play of the game. Very effective play. Came back to it. In my opinion, CeeDee Lamb made a bad cut. On the second time he cut it up inside, he should have stayed outside. But at the end of the day, man, I think that we got to commit to running the ball as much as possible until Dak Prescott is back. And we need to do the play action pass to Jake Ferguson and other young tight end we have that was very effective. If we play football like that, we could win, man, and we showed it by almost coming back in that second half.
What's your thoughts? We'll start with you, Amp, and then you, Coach Marv.
So there were a lot of similarities in this game between the two teams. Looking at the stats, um, they're pretty much almost identical as far as total plays. We had more production with them in the yards department. Um, Rushing was almost identical. We had 134, they had 136. They did rush it 39 times to our 26. We even outpassed them 181 to 132. So with all those stats being identical, you say, what is the story of the game? The story of the game is turnovers.
Turnovers. Mm-hmm.
And two turnovers cost us 10 points, and we lost by 9. You do the math.
Yep.
Even with us coming out flat, even with a poor called game in some instances, we got better in the second half and cleaned them up. But honestly, if we do not commit those two turnovers, it's a different ball game. And Philly has the ball at the end of the game, trying to score to go ahead and win. We have the lead. We're comfortable. So even with a quarterback that doesn't have that high of a ceiling, or not as high of a ceiling, obviously, as your starting quarterback, you can kill a quarterback controversy. But at the end of the day, that and committing 10 penalties for 72 yards, I don't want to play blame the ref. We're not going to do that because a lot of it was on us. But at the end of the day, you clean up some of those penalties to get off the field on third down, it's a different ball game. Philly gave us a real good shot, and that was the outcome. So imagine in our second meeting, if we clean some of those things up, we play smarter football, we play complementary football, and we build on our game plan. That second outing shouldn't even be close. I'm going to say this, I'm going to leave this with y'all. Sometimes Christmas come early, sometimes it comes late, but it got to come. So, hey, kudos, chop it up. Philly, you got one. Congrats. 2 claps, that's all you're getting from me. It's on you, Coach.
You real quick. Hold on, Coach, before you go. Just real quick. We just got a super chat. Just real quick. He said, I give Cooper Rush all love for helping us get 2-4-2 when the world thought he was over once Dak went down. I agree with that. Yeah,
I do.
I do agree with that. Now his watch is ending. It's time for Dak to get dirty. Man, fantastic super chat. Go ahead, Coach him off.
I'm like OC said, I'm really kind of happy about it. I mean, not happy about the loss, but I saw some good things, and I saw some things that with the way we got back to our style in the second half. I say this.
Yeah.
I said this before at the beginning of the telecast. To win big games on the road with good teams, you have to play great special teams. Check mark. Our special teams helped us score some points today. You have to be committed to running the football to take the crowd out and to establish a physical presence to the football game. We did not do that at the beginning of the game. And you can't turn the ball over and create short fields, and your coaching staff cannot do things that gives up points with bad decisions. We had Cooper Rush had 3 interceptions today, but we had 4 turnovers. When you turn the ball over on downs inside the 40-yard line, you're giving Philadelphia 3 points when you're down 14 points already. This is a big game. It's not going to probably be a blowout game. I don't care how far Philly gets up front. Your team you're going to adjust, and it's going to come down because it's going to be a short game because you're running the ball a lot. Both teams are running the ball, so you have to know that this is going to be a short game, so you can't give up points and let yourself get farther behind. But I was proud of Kellen Moore with his play calling in the second half. He gave his team a physical presence, which slowed their pass rush down. And I want people to understand this. When Dak Prescott comes back, this still should be the game plan.
Yep.
If it's
Agreed,
not,
Coach.
if it's not, you're going to still have problems in big games. And that's not no slam to Dak Prescott.
Yep.
It's what sets the table for him to get. If we look at the throws that Cooper Rush couldn't throw on these play action passes or these passes he threw interceptions, one of them he shouldn't have threw at all. A couple of them, if he would throw it with some arm strength and threw the ball well, there were passes that could be completed. But the biggest issue I have is that when we get in a tight game, as OC said, we not come out with the right mentality to be physical. We didn't come out with the right mentality in this game. And then when they start getting the momentum, we panicked on offense, and we went to a game plan away from what we do best, and it caused us to turn the football over. And then we panic and go for a situation that put our team deeper in the hole. Take those 3 points off the board, gentlemen. We end this game, and Philly will have to make a play at the end, or we'll get the ball back to go down and score a touchdown.
Yep.
I said that then, and I'll say it again. You can't give up points in big-time games. But I think we learned this lesson now. That's if we learn that lesson and we hold on to it, we're going to be better for it. We just got 2 losses. That's all we got. So I feel positive about it. We didn't think the team would go undefeated. Cooper Rush has done a great job to get us to be 4-2. Now we just got to build upon it and do what McCarthy says. This offense leans on who? Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard.
Thanks.
Yeah. So let me go back around the circle. I'm gonna ask this question. So what do we learn from this, OC, and how do we build out of this? That's the question for everybody. What do we learn, and how do we build out of this?
Well, you build out of this by understanding that you were close and you had opportunities to actually beat the Philadelphia Eagles, an undefeated hot team in their own stadium, and you got within a few plays of actually being able to do that. So now you get Dak Prescott back. You also understand that to win versus good teams, aka Tampa Bay, aka in this game the Philadelphia Eagles, you have to come out with a certain amount of intensity and a certain amount of dedication and commitment to be able to win and beat really good teams. All right, and that's the thing and the test that the Cowboys will have to pass before this season is over in order to go deep into the playoffs. What you also did learn and this is no cap. You need to follow Boss Cowboy Sports, man. Like, share, and subscribe, man. Because listen, when Kellen Moore did the things that we suggested, we had success. We talked about running a jet sweep. We had success. We talked about at the end of the game, the 2-minute warning, he leaked out Ezekiel Elliott out of the backfield. The only time he did it, it was a first down, right? We talked about several things that you need to do. So Kellen Moore needs to build on leaking the backs out of the backfield. He needs to build upon the jet sweep and the trap action. He also needs to continue to build. And this is my only angst against what I saw. We didn't do very good route combinations because at the end of the day, man, those corners for Philadelphia, man, they look pretty good to me, Boss Cowboy. They look pretty good, and they were covering Gallup like a blanket, man, and all the throws were tight window throws, man. All those throws were tight window throws. So we got to do something to get these guys open, and you got to mix up your route combinations, run pick routes, run crossing routes, things like that. I would even steal a play from the Philadelphia Eagles, man, when they ran that RPO pass, and instead of reading Michael Parsons, they read Wilson. He bit down hard, and wide receivers wide open in the middle of the end zone, man, touchdown. So it's a lot we can learn, and I'm almost done here, boss. A lot we can learn from this, but I'll say this. This is the only game, right, this season that I've seen Dan Quinn get out coached, man. This is the only game. And that guy had a plan and he executed, but I think the next go around, I think when it counts, if we're pretty healthy team with Dak back, I think we beat this team. So that's my thought about it.
Yeah, and my thing on what can we learn, I saw a real good comment. It was funny somebody said this, but somebody put in the chat, they said emotions lost us this game. Yeah, we was very flat emotionally in the first half. I said this last year after Denver, and I keep seeing this from Mike McCarthy's teams. I keep seeing a bad pattern that when we flat, we stay flat too long. There's no emotional plan. There's no plan when your team is flat how to get them going. And that continues to hurt us when we run up against these teams that some people say like San Fran, right? Teams that's rolling, teams like that's hot, teams that's invested emotionally. I saw the same thing. Like, we did not come out emotionally like I expected us to. I expected defense to be angry. That's what I expected, but they didn't play angry. I saw a game out of Donovan Wilson that I'm not used to, and he's usually Mr. Angry guy, you know? He's usually the angriest guy. So that was one thing. I would also, because I would want to see Kellen Moore call to his strengths. And I don't think he called to his strengths enough. I think he believes anybody can make any play, but that's just not true. I think he called a bad game in the first half.
It's not.
What you mean? You were just agreeing?
No, I'm agreeing with you 2,000%.
Yeah.
So I say that's the cardinal sin, is that you think you can run the same offense with every piece of personnel, and personnel is different. No, you're absolutely right. Go ahead.
That's exactly what I see with him. Like I said in the beginning, before the game, I said the keys is embrace game management with Cooper Rush. Embrace it. Embrace that you want to call games that where it's going to be low risk throws. Like I said, target your tight ends, target your running backs, do stuff for his confidence. When did we have a real clean drive? When we came out in the third quarter and we was targeting those tight ends. And we was doing bootlegs on the center. And we was running the ball. It was embracing game management. And every time Cooper Rush threw an interception, it was when he was trying to get him to be Dak. My
right.
boy Philly Notion, he said,
"Boss,
spread
and
hold that L." I can't wait, bro. We gonna do us a show this week, I promise you. And then panicking. Coach, right on that. We did a lot of panicking. It was some panic and play calling in there. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that too, Coach, about what do you think we can kind of learn from this, and what should we take from this?
We learned that the two tight ends that we have, we okay without Dalton Schultz.
Yeah.
We learned that we can trust these guys in the passing game, and we learned that these guys will block, and they give us some enthusiasm in their playmaking. So we learned that that's going to give us a better weapon, and now when teams started the game plan to kind of control them, we learned that that's going to give CeeDee Lamb a little bit more room, because we hadn't thrown to the tight ends none this year.
Yep.
So now we have the tight ends got a lot of big catches, got some touchdowns. We learned that. I hope we learned that what our identity on offense, what we do well, how we get rolling, what gets our motor going, what gets us on schedule. I think Zach Martin said this last year in the interview. He says the run game puts us on schedule.
Yep.
It gets us on schedule. It gets us rolling. So I hope we learn from the second half on of what gets us on schedule and how we can play and what makes our offense tick, giving it a physical presence. On defense, I hope we learn. Boss, me and you had a conversation early this week, and what did I tell you? The only thing that can beat our defense is our psyche.
Yep.
If we get too much into ourselves. I love for teams to have swagger. But I do not like to talk about we the best, because that's only going to be after it's all said and done. It is not going to be judged off game 4 or 5. It's going to be judged at the end of the season who's the best. So it's about the psyche, as OC said, coming in the game with the right mentality off the bat, knowing your identity of what we do. So I think we learned that our tight ends are good. That's going to help us. We learned that Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard can dominate a game and make things tough. I hope we throw the ball more to them in the flats, even get them more touches in the passing game. But I think we learned a lesson of coming into this game and not going at it at the beginning and what was said in the locker room, or whatever was said, or whatever play calling that we did in the second half to slow this team down. I hope we learned that is our identity, offensively and defensively. And we have to get to that early, and we have to establish that, and we have to oppose our will on people and not wait for people to throw punches at us, and then we try to figure out what we need to do, because we know what we want to do. We know how we want to attack people. That's what I hope we learn.
And real quick, boss, and not to cut you off, man, because I know you coming up next, but man, one thing that I hope, man, I'm just gonna jump in and say this real quick, that we really got out of this game, which I think is a real positive if we learn this lesson, is that Ezekiel Elliott has a good amount of gas left in that tank. So this talk about him not being effective and him not being able to make plays and carry the team, we would have been better off if he got 23 or 24 carries in this game, to be honest. The way he was running the ball and how that defense was playing.
Yeah, man.
I'm telling you, I don't care about what you want.
That's an agreement one.
Okay.
That's a one that we dropped the ball.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we dropped the ball, not feeding him enough.
Got it.
I'm agreeing with you. Like, it was.
Yeah.
It was frustrating, because as I was watching the game, OC, I was getting mad at all the critics of Zeke. Did that make sense?
Yeah, man. I think no, it makes 100% sense. I think that, people say Ezekiel is fast enough. He ain't no Jordan Burner, man. But he's fast enough. He's tough enough. And if you look at some of those replays, man, and I ain't broke down the tape yet, obviously, man, but you see quick feet in the hole. You see a nice burst. You see him finishing forward. You see him doing all the things that good running backs do. So, man, he's still a good back, man, and the Cowboys let him go, man. He's going to go and be really, really good for somebody else, man. Shout out to Joey, Coco99 with the $20 super chat, man. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and watching us. But, Amp, I'm going to kick it to you, man.
Hold on, before you kick it to him.
But I want to jump in and share that.
Before you kick it to him, he got $20, and he said, do you think we should get Odell? I think we should think about it. Dead serious. That's something else we should take away from this game is being open to expanding talent to this team by all means necessary. By all means necessary at all positions. I'm gonna give it a lot of thought, but I'm definitely for Odell Beckham. Me, yes. I know Coach hated because he mean Kellen Morgan want to throw more, and I definitely agree with that. I already know what you, Coach. I already knew what you was thinking before. Coach, I already knew, Coach. I knew it. I did know, and I know the risk. I get it. I knew where you was going as I said it. I knew exactly what you was thinking, and you right. But I'm just saying, I'm open to have the conversation and the debate, which we'll likely have this week, and I'm cool with that. And I love you, Coach. I do love you. We need a
like break, man. We got 57 likes, man.
We got 57 likes. Hold on, bro. Y'all get them likes up, dog.
We got 230 some people watching this thing.
Oh, hell no. But y'all not gonna do us like that, bro. Get them likes up, big dog.
They messing with the church.
Oh, my. Oh, no, man. Y'all go ahead. That's freeloading, bro. You can't do that. Y'all can't do that. Y'all gotta. Listen, we done already did I done did 3 shows today, dog. Can you at least hit a like? God, dog. It's all good though. I already know y'all just needed a brief rewinder, but go ahead, Amp. We've been hogging from you, and then we'll close it out because I know you're tired.
Man, look here. I don't know if I could say we learned a whole lot. The reason I'm gonna say that is because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 6th post-game show we've done.
Right.
And in the 5 previous, after our 4 wins and 1 loss, we would get on here and we would point out the things that we needed to fix, right? Things that we needed to tighten up, things that we needed to address, things that though we made it through that current week alive and with a W going forward, we need to fix this. And guess what? It didn't get fixed. And today, you saw the fact that it wasn't fixed. What we also learned today is, despite the fact of all the kudos and love and adulations our defense has been given, we are still horrid in run support.
Ooh.
What we learned is your coaches are not going to win you a game. They're not. Don't look for it. Don't look for them to pull you out that fight.
Yeah, thank you.
What we also learned is this team is resilient. Because despite being down 20-0, they didn't give up. I will give that to them. Boss, you remember a conversation I told you about a while ago? And I hope you're okay with this, but we were just talking about your brand in general. And I say this to you a lot. Two things you got to do.
Watch your brand.
You got to promote your brand, but most importantly, you have to protect your brand.
Yeah. We talked about
what
that.
I saw today, your OC in the first half didn't promote Cowboy brand football. Your head coach did not promote Cowboy brand football. And then in the things, in the deficiencies that we have, our coaches didn't protect us either. When you don't promote and you don't protect, you don't have a brand. You don't have a brand, you don't have an identity. You don't have an identity, you don't have a strength. And when you don't have a strength and you get in these tough games against these teams, oftentimes you come out on the losing end.
I love it, man. So I tell you what, we gonna do it like this. We gonna say final words, and I'm gonna kick it off. All right, and we gonna go around. We gonna let the OC finish it. So on this post game, what I would say is, on a positive note, it's a lot of young guys that's growing. I'm gonna start with that I'm happy to see. I'm happy to see, even though we know and should have always known that Cooper Rush was a backup quarterback. I'm glad that he got these reps. I'm glad that we also seeing the growth out of our tight ends. I'm very happy with that. I'm glad that Ezekiel Elliott, to a degree, with fans who really know what they're looking at, know that he definitely got a lot left in the tank. Some people ain't gonna respect him because they already in love with the ideal of replacing him. But anybody with clear eyes could see that he's a major value to this team. And we still have a lot we can do with him and Pollard. I like the fact that, that we could have and should have beat a hot team with a backup quarterback. We should have beat Philly tonight. We also got to just be honest and say that Kellen Moore is finally learning on the job. At first, he was a wild dog that could do what he want. As a positive, at least Mike McCarthy is in a place to where he can now try to rein him in. And we saw signs of the rein helping him. The only thing we can hope is towards the end of the season, hopefully Mike McCarthy's vision and alignment of how to control the game, close out a game, and use his featured players with Zeke and Pollard fully becomes engrafted with Kellen. that's a super wish, but there's a chance. Slim chance, but there's a chance. So also, this will give us an opportunity as a positive to take a look within. Because if we would have won this game, you couldn't have told us anything. It would have been very hard to change when you think you already got it all. But when you take a loss like this gonna make all of us look under every rock. This gonna cause all the fans to be more open and sometimes stop the foolish talk that we've been having, like Dak versus Cooper Rush. See, that talk gonna stop now. Because now we go be desperate to try to win. So that's my final words on this post game and what I look forward to seeing going forward. Just keeping it real. So yeah, I'm gonna now turn it back to you. Let me see. Let me go with Coach Marv. Let me go with you. No, let's go with you, Amp, because we'll let Coach Marv go too close to the end. There you go, Amp.
Something else I saw in the chat just now. And Boss, I hold this position near and dear to my heart. A lot of people are saying it's clearly evident that we are missing a Mike linebacker.
Yeah.
And truth be told,
I'm seeing that.
I've been hollering and screaming that since we lost Sean Lee.
Yeah.
Just keeping it all the way real. I did see. I will give kudos to LVE. I did see improvements today. I did actually see him penetrate the line of scrimmage and make some plays in the backfield, scraping efficiently, stopping running plays that could have been a whole lot worse than what they were. But this here is it's a little dose of reality, If you had told me again after week 1 that goes down, we close out before we get him back at 4-2, I'm gonna say, hey, that's a win. I'll take that. The fact that we went 4-1 without him, again, kudos to Cooper Rush. But at the end of the day, I'm sorry, he just ain't that dude. Just keeping it all the way funky. I want to see your OC make smarter decisions early in the game. I want to see him start better. More importantly, I want to see him close better. And Mike McCarthy, dude, you had a couple of strikes in this game, sir, that are pretty much unexcusable.
Yeah, he did.
And you hurt your team as a result of it.
He did.
Coach Marv, I want to thank him for talking about the turnover and downs. Philly scored 26 points. That's the most we've allowed all year. But we gave them half the points. We gave them 13, not 10, 13.
Yep.
They only actually earned 13 points.
Yep.
And they're going to come on every Cowboys podcast and into the chat with their chest poked out like they did something. And if I'm going to give you any glimpse of hope going forward, the fact that we played as horrible as a game as we possibly could have in the first half, and to make it as close as we did, kudos to your team for continuing to fight in spite of. And something else, I'm going back to the last question, boss. It's still my final word, but for those people who say when you get down, you can't run the ball, shame on you.
Right.
We saw it happen today.
Yep.
This is the type of game that shows you
we panicked.
You don't have to hit the panic button. You can still be efficient. You can still run. There was a lot of time left on the clock. And honestly, we still had the opportunity to pull it off had it not been for the hole we dug in the turnovers. But you can run your way out of a deficit. That's my final word.
Well, y'all got some good final words, man. And first I want to lead off with this. How many likes you got, boss?
Oh man, I ain't even looking at it, Coach. I'm sorry.
Well, this is the reason I want to say this. I say it this way, and I'm gonna say this first, man.
100 likes.
Huh?
We got 110.
Great. We should have everybody on both screens should have liked, because, man, you don't know what this gentleman, Boss Cowboy, had to go through just to be able to give us content.
Amen. Amen.
And to give it professionally, not just to throw it out there, but to make it right. And that should give kudos about how much he cares about the Cowboys, how much he cares about his brand, and how much he cares about giving you, Cowboy Nation, the real inside story on the Dallas Cowboys. So we all should like this. Regardless if you don't even like what's going on, you still should like it because of the effort was put in. Because you could have easily said, I watched the game myself, I don't feel like going through all that. But he did it for us. Now,
my name is Amp, and I approve of this message.
Oh yeah, see they didn't see. I'm gonna tell you what Coach Mar's talking about. I had to restart this computer 5 times. I've never had to do that. It was hell getting this show going today. It was. I wasn't gonna even say nothing about it, but I appreciate that, Coach.
Yeah, but we learned a lot. I learned a lot about this team, and it's one thing that got me worried. The thing that's got me worried is this offense gonna go away from what makes them good and what can make Dak Prescott get MVP of this league?
Facts. That's just facts, Coach.
Is it gonna go away? Because I'm telling you, if we incorporate what you seen out of Cooper Rush, that's gonna be like on steroids with Dak.
Yep.
Play action passes.
Facts.
Coming from under the center. Now I know he got this problem with the hand. They may not want to comfort, but you need to wait till he get ready, because we have found out that we run the ball, and Coach Marv going to do the research on it to make sure you know we run the ball better when we run from under center, and our play action passes are much better when we do it from under
Thank you,
center.
Coach. Thank you.
That's not saying we need to get rid of shotgun, but that gives a sense of a threat. So we're learning about ourselves, because if we're Cowboy fans, we have seen the formula for us to win. So if we have seen the formula for us to win, we know we need to get back to that. Now, I've been hard on Mike McCarthy on decision. This is just not started this year. These same decisions I'm seeing, this has been going on for a couple of years in situations. And he cannot do anything to harm your team in big games. Trust your team, McCarthy. If you know you got a good team, trust your team. Don't don't panic. There was no need to panic. Now, I think the end result for our team is more than what we're doing right now. Now, I done been down this road where we done won games like this in game 6 and fizzled out at the end. I want our team to stay hungry. They need a little bit of humble pie.
Yep.
We only got 2 losses. We 4-2 going into a easier part of our schedule.
Right.
Let's win these games.
Yep.
Let's keep building momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And then we gonna be okay. Listen, you ain't gotta win the division to win the Super Bowl. You just gotta be the best football team.
That's right.
I know we got a good football team, and I like the young players. Young players are doing well to get time. I'm happy about it. And let me go to LVE, and I'll be finished. LVE played a better game today than he's probably played in a couple of games.
He really did. Just keeping it real.
The only thing that I'm saying with our middle linebacker, and I think me and Boston have talked about this on many occasions, I have said this about the middle linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys. He doesn't have to be the thinker. He's surrounded by Curse, Michael Parsons, a good defensive line, B. Law, great safeties, good cornerback. Only thing he has to be is aggressive. Anything he see, attack it. If he miss it, he just holding it up for the cavalry to get there. But whoever plays middle linebacker cannot be passive. That's all I'm asking him to do. Just be aggressive and throw everything to the walls. You see it, and that's why on this show we have been preaching about these young guys because they showed a level of aggression.
Yep.
All through preseason, right? They showed a level of attacking and just going after things. That's what I want to see LVE do. Now, he played a better game when he attacked. He looked good. When he sat back and waited, he looked like what we've been trying to preach upon. But I think they set him a little bit one series after the touchdown, and I think he got his head screwed on right to understand that that's what he got to do.
Yep.
So hopefully he comes along and understand his role is to attack. And if he does that, he'll be okay. I don't care who it is, LVE, CVE, G, whoever it is in their linebacker. That's what I want them to do. So we all right, Cowboy Nation. Let the Philadelphia talk. Let them go all crazy. But it all comes down who is standing at the finish line last.
Yeah.
First. You know,
there ain't no trophies for this game.
That's right.
Ain't no trophies for this game. And then we got us a super chat. He said, "What up, fellas? The amount of detail you guys put into the show is amazing and helps me be a more informed fan. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that."
That's dope. That's dope.
It's on UOC.
Yeah, guys. So at the end of the day, man, this is one of those games that you really, really need to just learn what you need to do to be a better team. And the key components to me is that it was kind of a nice subtle wake up for Dan Quinn in a way. Like in terms of your scheme and your strategy and your personnel, be on your P's and Q's, man. Like you can't take a week off in this league or you could wind up getting your butt kicked, you know? And so I still think Dan Quinn is great. I think schematically we could have done some things a lot better on defense. And I think that offensive coordinator and their guys offensively were better prepped and they were more ready to play than us. And in regards to the linebacker, LVE, look, I've been hard on LVE, but this game, from my eyeballs, he played well. So I'm not on LVE, right, at all. I mean, and really, at the end of the day, you can't really do too much when your defensive tackles are getting whipped. And the first, especially the second quarter, man, we got beat up bad. And hats off to the left guard, Dickerson. Right, first run should have been a top 10 pick out of, I believe, Alabama. He was killing our defense. He was killing Bohanna. Had Bohanna sitting down on the ground. He was killing everybody. Gallimore, he was destroying these guys, man. And they were running the ball behind him extremely effectively, man. So at the end of the day, man, linebackers can only do so much, man. If your defensive line is getting blown off the ball, man, it's not a lot. And so we got beat some this game, man. We got beat up on by a good offensive line, and that really was the difference in the game as far as I can see it. Now, as it relates to our offense and Kellen Moore, look, Kellen Moore is what he is, right? We've been beating up on Kellen Moore. We've been getting on to him. We've been giving him the business. We've been calling him a wild dog that needs to be on a leash. We've been doing all that stuff. But listen, if the Cowboys are committed to Kellen Moore, we got to cheer for his maturity. Right. And what I saw, especially in the second half, is some improvement. I saw some improvement. Yeah. So I got to give the man credit where credit is due, because to be honest with you, as he goes, we go. So you better be cheering for the dude. You better hope that he gets some maturity and some sense. And he needs to get, put it like this, he needs to get more experience in these type of games. And my prayer is this, that he gets enough tough games this regular season to be ready to call great games when we get into the playoffs. That's my prayer for Kellen Moore. And if we can accomplish that, whatever regular season we got left, and he can settle in to know that you can trust this offensive line. You can trust this team on play action pass. Set up the route combinations. Don't abandon the run. Don't go empty when you get inside of the 10 when it's 3rd and 2, right? Don't do stuff like that, right? You don't need to. It's no need for it, right? So if he can learn those lessons and we can get a solid Dak Prescott back, I feel like this team is going to be in great shape. I've said this in years past, that the Cowboys looked pretty good in, October and some of November and then fell apart in December. So I don't care about throughout this month, man. I'm not worried about this loss at all. This is a building block game. This is a game you learn from. This is a game you use to keep your team motivated and humble and to push your team to get better. That's how I see this football game, because I don't want us to be the best team in October. We need to be the best team in December and January. So that's my final word about this, man. Cowboys gonna be in good shape, man. We gonna be all right. The Cowboys are going to go on and win some games, man, and be a top competitor in this NFC East that's turning out to be a very competitive NFC East, might I say. And we're going to be all right, guys. So that's my word on this.
Yeah, I feel the same way, man.
Preach, Pastor.
Before we get out of here, man, I want to say shout out to my boy, Terrence Steele. Terrence Steele. He did what I expected him to do. That's why
what a wild animal, man.
Man, that's why I made him the thumbnail, because I knew he was going to do that today. I knew it. I say, this boy is finna, and he did, man. So, like, obviously, y'all stay on the lookout for tomorrow where I talk about the star player of the game. I got that from Coach Marv, the person that showed, the star characteristics, speed, the toughness, the availability, and the relentless. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to talk about it tomorrow, and I appreciate that, Coach. I've been using that since, and it's good because it gets us to focus in on things that's also going well, not things that are just going bad. We got to sometimes take away and look at the people that stood out, even though we might have took an L on this one. I love the fact that we got an undrafted free agent that was out there, and I knew it was gonna happen. And when I had the debate with the Philly content creators, I told them, I say, man, bro, I ain't worried about no Reddick, dog. I wasn't, because I knew he was gonna have to do his thing. He was a non-factor, so I'd rather us have what we have with an undrafted free agent than what they got with what they paid for with a high price free agent. Give me the way that we build over the way that they build. Now I'm still open for us to build, and we go debate that out this week and in the weeks going forward. But it is some things to be impressed with, but we do got to tighten up, and I do agree. OC, can you close us out, bro?
Yeah, man. So listen, man, guys, if you like content like this, man, do not forget to hit the subscribe button. All right, guys. At the end of the day, our show and our channel, man, is built by you, man. Also, drop money in the Cash App, $ BossCowboySports, man. Thank all of those of you who have supported us in that way. Thank you guys for all of the super chats. It does go a long way to keep the content fresh and keeping us doing more content like this. Don't forget to follow Boss Cowboy Sports on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Hit the like button, please, before you click off of this stream. And you can follow me, the OC100, on Twitter. And until next time, see you.
And also, be on the lookout. We got a new show that's coming out this week called Boss Cowboy on the Move. It's going to be real cool. Y'all keep your eye on that. It's going to be dope. Appreciate it, Coach Marv, Amp, OC. It's a long season, y'all. It's gonna be up and down.
Yes, sir.
It's all good. We all good, y'all. No panic. We good.
All right, let me give me some rest. I'm sleeping.
Don't need to sweat the small
Me too. Ooh, wee. You can say that one time.
Fellas.
All right, Coach. Appreciate it.
Y'all be easy.
Y'all be easy, man. Appreciate the chat. Appreciate y'all supporting Boss Cowboy Sports, man. Y'all look out tomorrow. Boss Cowboy on the Move.
Boss Cowboy Sports.
Yeah, that Parsons flag was some trash. Somebody asked me before we got here, what did you think about that Parsons flag? It was trash.